123 turbo after 10 rounds full.
Yeah, it feels like my daughter just like punched me in the face.
4.7s remains on the cutting edge in 2010 for portable lighting products. Two examples are on the table right here. They're going to be the focus of this Nutnfancy flashlight review as expeditiously as I can. The Quark 123 squared turbo light, the Quark AA squared turbo light. If you guys, for instance, or gals, are in the market for a weapon light, hold off. Watch this review because I think you're going to be impressed with the two alternatives I have right in front of you. And I'm going to save you a lot of money doing it. For you guys and gals that are not weapon people, in other words, you don't have a gun, you never anticipate having one or putting a light on it, you may say, well, Nutnfancy, why are you always talking about the weapon POU? It's because in the realm of this type of flashlight, that is a throwy flashlight, one that is designed to throw a beam as long as possible, that is a very demanding application. Because me, and this is just my mileage, I want a very compact light, and let's jump right into size and weight while we're talking about this, and the talking points. I want a compact, lightweight, very capable light that's tough, rugged, durable, and waterproof. Guess what? Quark turbo lights meet all of those requirements. Yes, it is a snapshot in time, 2010. Will the technology improve? Absolutely. You're going to see more capable lights as time marches on, but it's definitely good enough to buy into right now. For instance, this, I think, the Quark 123 squared turbo, that's a long name by the way, sets the benchmark for size and weight. 3.6 ounces? Dude, that is lightweight. And that it doesn't really matter if you're using 123 power cells, that is the disposable CR123s that I have in here right now, conveniently cellophane together by 4.7s. I love how they do that. Or perhaps you want to use a rechargeable protected cell, the 17670 1600 milliamp version. It fits within that 123 tube, although pretty snugly. I had to take those, listen, pop goes the weasel. I had to take the stickers off to make it fit. It doesn't matter which battery you run in that, it's still going to be about 3.6 ounces. Amazingly light and compact, perfectly suited to the weapon POU. Quark AA squared turbo in the background, a little bit heavier, with Sanyo Inteloops, that is the rechargeable batteries, 5.4 ounces. If you upgrade to lithium power cells, it's going to lighten it up to about 4.6 ounces, okay? Thereabouts. Remember what I've always said, if you're serious about your flashlight, you operate in cold conditions, run those lithium power cells. They maintain their charge levels better, and it'll probably be there when you absolutely need it. Size and weight on both these lights is excellent. I prefer the 123 squared turbo, but if you're really big on the AA cells, this might be your choice. There is a little bit of difference in brightness levels when we get down to those in talking point. Construction, waterproofness. I'm going to roll in ergonomics here too. Let me talk about this one. We'll just go from the back end to the forward end. I'll try to hit all the specifics. And if I don't hit the specifics, I hear about it from questions from my viewers. That's why Nutnfancy reviews are so thorough. There's a tail cap you can expect to get with your Quark light, whichever one you choose, AA squared or the 123 squared turbo. This is wearing a different tail cap. I'll get to that in a second. The tail cap has a protruding clicky switch on it. Okay, so you can go momentary on with it like so. If you don't like that, like me, I don't dig it so much, you can swap it out. Nutnfancy, why do you not like it? Well, when I field tested the Phoenix TK10, TK11 series, I find that in a pistol, a mag pouch, that I can accidentally turn the light on. Or accidentally flash it, but just by pushing the switch like that. Not ideal. Yes, you can unscrew your tail cap in the Quark series like many other lights, and you will safe that function, so you won't turn it on. But it won't be instantaneously ready. Much better, in my estimation, is a flush tactical tail cap available separately from 4.7s. I like that. This one also has a momentary capability mounted on the AA turbo. This is my favorite. They had or have, they swap them out occasionally. This smaller diameter tail cap 2, which can screw on, this one does not have a momentary on function though. So it just depends on what your preferences are. And again, with the turbo series or the Quark series of lights, interchangeability. You can swap out the tail caps, the emitter heads, generally speaking, and you can, basically make a custom light to whatever specifications you want. So there's the tail cap. Unscrewing the back end here, we see the squared off threads that Quark does. More durable. Yeah, I guess I don't really see a difference between Phoenix threads, square threads. Some guys make a big deal about it. The Phoenix threads have always been pretty darn good in my estimation. They're not squared off, but it's an extra added feature. I'll take it. They are smooth, I'll tell you that much. There's that pocket clip that I first showed you when I did my Quark AA square tactical video. And a lot of what I'm saying here will be similar, of course, because the Quark line is very similar all along. We just have a different emitter head on the turbo lights. That's what we'll talk about here in a sec. Great pocket clip. Just like I said before, I love how it's locked into place with this milled out retention ring that screws down tightly, thus locking the pocket clip onto the T6061 aluminum body very tightly as well. Great pocket clip. It's just ideal. You can, I believe, swap the ends around if you just swap the emitter head and the tail cap. That way you would carry, I guess, emitter head up in your pocket. I don't know why you'd want to do that. I like it oriented just the way it is. Some dudes may want that. How's the knurling? Again, very subjective. Some people want it very aggressive, some very shallow. I think it's pretty darn good just the way it is. Provides good traction on the Quark body, whether it's the AA or the 123 version. And incidentally, the bodies are just identical to the Tactical series. They're going to be marked turbo just because they come with that. Getting to it, flared emitter head. And there is the big difference on these turbo lights. They are designed for throw. Okay? They're also wearing, just like the other tactical one, the XPG R5 LED inside. And yes, it does produce a certain amount of heat. The more cool that we can keep that LED head right there, or actually the LED itself, the more efficiently it will run. And that's why there are cooling fins on the Quark turbo lights. They're cool looking. They're ergonomic for a lot of people. Where did it go? I had it right here. When we compare this body style against, I had a P3D running around here somewhere. Oh, darn, where'd it go? There it is. A straight body flashlight like the Phoenix P3D, successor PD30 might be another good example. Some people like the ergonomics on this. They can find the emitter head on the flared body easier. They may prefer the traditional look, flashlight look of this, even though it is much more compact than perhaps a mag light or some of those other obsolete old-fashioned lights. It's again a subjective preference. I don't mind the straight body design at all. I like how trim it is. P3D, a great flashlight, and also at one time recommended weapon light in the Nutnfancy project. But one of the limitations, this will get us to the reflector of the P3D, is that it was textured, kind of that orange peel texturing, see there? Great for reducing the amount of artifacts in the beam pattern, that is, anomalies, dark spots, shadows, rings, and also producing a more area lighting capability. Not so great for throw. Harkening back to our discussion with David Chow, 2010 SHOT Show, if you want to maximize throw out of your handheld lighting product, deepen the reflector and smooth out the reflector. Granted, there's a lot more complexities than that. It's an oversimplification. No, I'm not the ultimate expert on it either. But that's what we see in the turbo head right there. Smooth reflector, relatively deep, and it's flared out for a greater diameter, thus lending pretty darn good throw. The XPG R5 is brighter than its successors. Namely, let me get the specifics right. And I talked about this in the other review. It's 46% brighter, 64% more efficient than the XRE predecessor. However, it's not perfect because it does experience a little bit more divergence. That is about 28% more is what I think David Chow says out of the LED itself. When all is said and done, when you take into account the reflector, take into account the divergence of the brighter XPG R5, what you get is about 5% more throw. Okay, and some guys will say, that's not very much. Well, it's an improvement, and I can tell you from my own experience after several months, this light will work out to about 100 yards. No, it's not ideal, and when we talk about a smooth reflector, the downside is that it will introduce perhaps a dark donut ring in the center of the beam at closer ranges. And I did see that. And you will see it with yours as well. That's because this is designed for throw. What does technology hold? Will it change? Yeah, absolutely. Will we ever see a user-definable reflector? From Nutnfancy, that's what I'd like to see, where we can vary the capabilities of our handheld light, maybe weapon-mounted light at range. Maybe. As of 2010, you're going to have to make some choices. Either you want, a very clean, artifact-free beam, maybe closer range. This one peters out at about 25 yards. Effectively, this one can throw to about 80 to 100 yards. See where we're going with that? I like the technology. Snapshot in time, I think it's pretty darn good. Incidentally, the 123 emitter head, that is the LED, will run 3 to 9 volts. On the Quark AA squared turbo, that one runs, I think, voltage range 0.9 volt to 4.2 is what the specs tell us. And that will kind of designate what type of power cells they can run with. Also, as a testament to 4.7's attention to detail, the lens is sapphire coated on the exterior. My understanding gives it some scratch resistance, which does come in handy, especially for a weapon-mounted light POU. On the interior of that lens, anti-reflective coating. Maximum lighting efficiency. Great job, 4.7's, as usual. And that takes us to the other half of construction. Very important, waterproofness. If your light fills up with water, you can pretty much forget every other feature it has because it would become null and void as it shorts out. To test the Quark Turbo lights, once again, I filled up the Nutnfancy water testing barrel. Some guys may laugh. That's ridiculous. Well, remember, the lights are rated to IPX8 standards, 12 feet, 24-hour static pressure. What does that mean to me? That means it should be able to withstand 3 feet of dynamic pressure. Maybe it's aggressive dynamic pressure, where I take the Quark Turbo light to depth, in this case 3 feet, shake it around, access primary, secondary modes, actuate the switches, all fair game, in my opinion, for a tactical light, because I have to know if it can withstand a driving rainstorm, maybe a dunking in a lake, river, or stream, maybe an emergency use underwater. Again, if you need a dive light, buy a dive light, but you don't know, one day may come that you may have to press your Quark light into a rescue function, maybe diving down to the bottom of a lake to save some people from a car. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? I test that for you. And I'm happy to report the Quark Turbo lights came out with flying colors. That's hilarious. No failures of any kind, and yes, I have seen some lights fail the test. Yep, even at 3 feet. Incidentally, in the video there that I'm rolling, you may see that the body says Quark 123 Tactical. Just keep in mind, I probably swapped the bodies out. It's the same exact body, just different lettering on the side. Great job on the waterproofness. The ergos, I think we pretty much discussed. They're excellent with a pocket clip, the flared body, all that. On to the meat of the review, brightness and throw. Let's get on it. Lights turned down here a bit on the reviewing table. Time to talk about the modes, brightness levels, and burn times on these two lights. We'll start off with a Quark AA Square Turbo. Now remember the tactical interface on these Quark lights. It differs from the Phoenix. Basically, you have two programmable positions that you will choose. Loose bezel, tight bezel, also called primary and secondary. Right now, let's see, that was loose bezel. If I go to tight bezel, I guess it's programmed for moonlight. I'll talk about that here in a second. It differs from perhaps a Phoenix UI in the following. This is a Phoenix P3D, same as a PD30 as far as UI goes. Remember, soft tap on the back and loosen bezel will cycle through low, medium, high, and then some other modes like that. You don't work the UI in the Quark Tactical the same way. You just basically have two choices. Tight bezel, loose bezel, accessed by the clicky switch. You can go momentary on. Okay, let's program the light. Just like I said in my Quark AA Square Tactical review, this is how you do it. Probably shown in other videos out there too. I think 4.7's got a video on their website. Turn the light on, rotate the bezel 4 or more times in rapid succession. I'm going to program the loose mode. It's going to flash at me, telling me it's ready for programming. Bam! There it is, one of my favorite modes. Moonlight, 0.2 lumens in the AA version, 30-day burn time. Fresh cells, normal temperature range. Then it goes to 4 lumens for 5 days. That is the low mode. There's medium, 22 lumens, 24 hours. These are 4.7 specifications. On and off again. I'm cycling through. That's high mode. 85 lumens, 5 hours. AA squared turbo again. And there's highest mode. I think I'm in highest mode. 206 lumens, 1.3 hours. And then we go into SOS mode. On and off again. There's strobe. And the last choice will be beacon. And you can program the beacon as well. Also a great feature if you want to strap it on something you need to find out in the wilderness, maybe your tent or something, and it'll go into that. Let me turn it off again, and I'm going to program this one right here. I just hold it for a while. It's going to flash at me after 10 seconds telling me that memorization has taken place. I think I'm in either medium or high mode on the AA version. Bam, it's done. Now the loosen bezel position is programmed, and when I turn it back on, it remembers that. So loose, tight bezel. Let's talk about the 1, 2, 3 version. I'm talking about these two lights individually because their brightness levels differ just a little bit. And again, in order to cycle through all the brightness levels, I got to go into programming mode. I'm going to do it with a 1, 2, 3 square turbo. I'm going to just turn it off and on again. Rotate the bezel, rapid succession, 4 more times. I'm going to program the Titan position, Titan bezel version. There's Moonlight, 0.2 lumens, 30 days. There's low, 41 lumens, 5 days. Medium, 22 lumens, 20 days. High, 85 lumens, 20 hours. Big difference when you go to high, by the way. Again, this is a 1, 2, 3 version. There's max. Look at that sucker. 230 lumens, 1.8 hours out of a 3.6 ounce light. Wow. SOS version, or mode I meant to say. Strobe. About 3 hours you'll get out of the strobe, 230 lumens. And then we go to beacon. By the way, beacon out of the Quark turbos, pretty high. 230 lumens out of the 1, 2, 3, 2.3 hours. So there's the obligatory rundown of the modes, brightness levels, and burn times between the Quark 1, 2, 3 turbo and AA squared turbo lights. Sorry about that. It's details that may bore some dudes, but a lot of people will want to hear it. And I like the videos to be self-contained. Other people say, Nutnfancy, break it down for me. What does it mean, practically speaking, what the lights are capable of? Rock on. That's a great question. I'm going to go first to the beam patterns. Remember our discussion about the reflectors. You can't see it here very much. This is the AA version. There will be an artifact or two in the beam because of the nature of the reflector. It's a smoother reflector. You may see what some dudes will call a donut in the center of the beam at certain distances. Okay, these are throwing lights. That is, they are designed to maximize beam throw with the XPG R5 as much as they can, given their size and weight limitations. Okay, you're going to have to deal with that. To me, it's minor. Oh, and while we're here, incidentally, I noticed, and this is just kind of odd, and it's the way my eyes perceive it, the Quark AA square turbo actually has a cool white coloration to the beam. It seems to me on the 1, 2, 3 square turbo, and I forget what mode I'm in. It's moonlight mode, so you can't really tell. Kind of has a greenish tint on it, which I do not prefer. If I have to have a tint, I actually like the cool white tint. Now, for mid-2006, 47s is coming out with what they call warm versions of the turbos, which will give more accurate color renditions to the things you're viewing under the lights. So check those out if you want them. To me, both these lights are quite serviceable. I don't particularly need the warm versions. I know a lot of guys, for whatever reasons, maybe medical POUs need accurate lighting capabilities. Think about it. How about the throw of these lights? And this kind of gets to their whole reason for being. Are these lights capable out to 100 yards, Nutnfancy? Well, I will say from my own testing, strapping these suckers to guns and actually going out and running gunning and testing them, the answer is yes, they do. The Quark 1, 2, 3 square turbo, again, is my favorite. Size and weight efficient. It's brighter at 230 lumens. Out to 80 yards in the sledgehammer. It was an effective lighting product. It was. Was it ideal? Nope, it was not. Nutnfancy, keeping it real. I want laser beam efficiency and capability out to those ranges. Even these lights at distance will have some dispersion. That's just the way it is. Again, remember those XPGs diverge about 28% more than some other alternatives. The reflector makes up for some of that. You will have some divergence. That's just the way it is. 2010 snapshot in June. The AA squared also effective, but it's heavier, longer. For a weapon light POU, I prefer this one. Very effective. Will 4.7s come out with better weapon mounted lights? Probably, but again, I think for the money, around $75, less when you use a discount code, dudes, you're getting a very capable weapon light. Deal with a little, anomaly in the beam pattern, not a big deal. That will take us on to, we cover brightness, throw, burn times, modes, user interface. What do you prefer for a UI? Getting back to the Phoenix, do you like the pushy UI? Remember, this is kind of a different light. This is more of an area light, maybe not quite the thrower that these turbos are. Do you like the tap interface to access different brightness levels? I still remain a fan of the tactical user interface that these Quark lights have. I program either loose bezel, tight bezel to the two modes I need. Are there disadvantages? Absolutely. You cannot access readily those other modes. You're going to have to go into the programming mode like I just showed you. That is a disadvantage. It all kind of boils down to what the user wants. For me, for a tactical light, especially a weapon mounted light, all I really need are two lighting positions. Usually I would use that moonlight mode. I don't know if I'm there. I am. Like so, in low brightness levels, saving my battery, maybe being less conspicuous. And by the way, I'm not going to get into the tactical implications of mounting a light on your gun. Some guys will say, well, why don't you use night vision? I mean, it's expensive, it's heavy, it burns batteries. In a rule of law, without rule of law, there is a role for weapon-mounted lights. There just is. I don't have the time to say much more than that. One thing I don't like about the user interface, and Quark / 4.7s needs to fix that, and that is the pre-flash. If I'm in a nighttime environment and my eyes are adjusted to the darkness, I mentioned this in my other review, when we have it programmed to a very low lightness level, like the moonlight mode, like it is now, when we turn it on, I hope I can show this. See that? The pre-flash, it'll actually bloom and then go to your designated moonlight mode. That's a disadvantage. They really need to overcome that because you're going to have to remember that so you don't kill your night vision or you don't become a very conspicuous target in certain situations. All right, keep that in mind. Versatility. I've been doing a lot of talking about weapon light. Weapon mounting of these two flashlights. Again, it's a demanding POU. Lightweight, compact, throw, all those things we talked about. Also, I think both of these lights, specifically the 123 square turbo, are great, what I'm going to call backpack searchlights. In other words, where you're very SAWC constrained, or size and weight constrained, I should say, and you need a very compact but very capable lighting product for search functions. I rescued a dog one time with a light like that, and I saved its life in a raging stream. I'll tell you the story sometime. This is a type of light that would fulfill that requirement quite nicely. Same with the AA squared, but it's a little bit heavier, a little bit longer, less compact. You can really do some good with a very powerful flashlight like these that has throw capabilities. It might be someone who's gone overboard. Again, getting back to the waterproofness, someone who's under the water. That's another POU. EDC light, absolutely. Some guys will just like it. I think it's a little bit, the bulbous head for me, not desirable in an EDC light because I like it to be more trim, kind of like that P3D. Like that. Depends though. Track record. Whew. It's hard to fit all this information in a short review. Sorry. Track record. 4.7s rocks, dudes. It's a 120-month warranty, 10-year warranty out of 4.7s. The value is excellent. Here's the packaging on their normal Quark Turbo lights. It's very high quality. You open it up and you find what you always do inside. That is a carry case, a lanyard, extra O-ring, and the rubber retention / carry strap that you can use in a variety of different ways. Joggers really love it. I do applaud 4.7s incidentally for their green packaging. That is, the warm versions come that way as of June 2010. Just a cellophane bag, none of this. I love their packaging, but most of us are just going to throw this away. So why not save a few dollars and pollute the environment a little bit less? Green packaging. Track record's excellent. Cost. Here we go. Alternatives to the capabilities. Let's take this 123 squared turbo light gives. Remember, this is 230 lumens, dudes. I forget which mode I have programmed. 230 lumens. That's not it there, I don't think. That is a lot of light for $75, roughly. Keep in mind that the Surefire 952 is $575 retail. Only comes out with 150 lumens. The 951, $380, 150 lumens. The M600 series, these are all Surefires, $330, 110 lumens. Classic Universal, Surefire, 330 retail, 120 lumens. Getting back to how I started the video, I like to save you money. I like to turn you on to stuff that works. In the POU of weapon-mounted light, these lights are excellent for mid-2010. Probably will be superseded sometime or another, but I highly doubt they'll be superseded at this price level. For around the $70 to $75 price point, if you mount them just like I did with this 18650 body in a scope ring with plastic shims, you will find that they are most outstanding. By the way, I forgot to mention this. These body tubes will not take the 2600 milliamp 18650 power cell. These ones won't fit. Just won't. It will do that other one, the 17650, but not that one. Incidentally, guys may ask too, is it recoil proof, Nutnfancy? Well, I will answer this. Tested. Yep, mounted to a Remington 870 shotgun. The Quark 123 square turbo was indeed recoil proof. I was a little bit surprised, actually.
Yeah, it looks
Shot the crap out of it with slugs. Light kept coming on after we were done. It did end up slipping in the rings because I didn't have it tightened down enough. But from our testing, probably around 50 rounds of slug out of that Remington 870 passed with flying colors. Great job, 47s. The turbo Quark lights, either the AA version, the 123 version, highly recommended by me, Nutnfancy, for the POUs designated. Woo! Man, flashlight reviews are tough. See you guys. Hope you liked it. Peace.